Okay, so math class. So yesterday we have talked about rounding our decimals, and then we talked about annexing decimals and zeros to continue on with the division problem so that we would not have a remainder. So today we're kind of taking all of that and putting it together, so you already know how to do all of that. So everything I'm going to show you already know how to do. It's just putting it all together, okay? So we are going to divide with rounding off. So if we have the number 32 divided by 7, so we can say 7 times 4 is 28. We multiply, we subtract, we get 4. 4 is smaller than our divisor. But now I want to round this off to, let's see, how did they say to do it? To the nearest tenth is what I want to round this off to. So in order to round off my answer to the nearest tenth, I'm going to have to annex a decimal in my dividend. A decimal in my quotient and a 0 in my dividend. So now I'm going to bring that 0 down. 7 will go into 45 times. 7 times 5 is 35. We subtract and we have 5. 5 is smaller than our divisor. So I'm going to annex yet another 0 and bring it down. 7 will go into 50 7 times. 7 times 7 is 49. So I'm going to subtract and have 1 left. Now, I can keep annexing zeros until I come up with an answer. But the thing is, my directions told me to find the quotient to the nearest tenth. So if I'm finding a quotient to the nearest tenth, my looker digit is going to be in the hundredths place. So that really is all the farther that I'm going to need to annex my zeros is out to the hundredths place. You understand that? I don't have to have all the other decimal places behind it if the only place I'm looking at is the hundredths place in order to round to my tens place. So in my hundredths place, it is 5 or above. So when I round 4.57, blah, 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 whatever else it might be, to the nearest tenth, it is going to be 4.6. Okay? Now, if we take that same problem and they're asking us to round it to the nearest thousandths place, it's going to be the same way. But in order to round to the nearest to the nearest hundredths, then I'm going to have to go out to the thousandths place because the thousandths place is my looker digit. So here we go. Everything is going to be the same. 4, and that'll be 28, and that'll be 4. Put annex our decimal. I'm sorry, guys, I haven't finished my second cup of coffee. Annex our decimal in the quotient and a 0 in the dividend. Bring it down. That'll be 5, 35. I'm just quickly getting to where we were here. Annex another 0 and bring it down. 7 times 7 is 49. Subtract. Now this time they're asking me to round to the nearest hundredth place. So here's my hundredths. So I need one more digit yet to be my looker digit. I'll annex one more 0 and bring it down. And how many times will 7 go into 10? It'll go in there one time. So like I said, we're rounding to the nearest hundredths, tenths, hundredths. That 1 will be my looker digit. So my answer is, it's less than 5, so I'm going to leave the space where I'm rounding alone. So it equals 4.57. Okay, pretty easy. It's just taking everything that we have learned and putting it together. So go ahead and get your books out and look at page 281. On page 281, we have a little bit of rounding practicing that we'll do together. So for number 1, we have 0.87. Our directions are asking us to round to the nearest tenth. So here's my tenth place. This is where I'm rounding. This is my looker digit. It's 5 or above. So I must add 1 to my place where I'm rounding. So it is 0.9. Next we have 1.46. We're rounding to the nearest tenth. This is my looker digit. It's more than 5, so I have to have 1 to my place. Add 1 to my place. I'm rounding, so 1.5. Next we have 2.07, rounding to the nearest tenth. The 7 is my looker digit. It's 5 or more, so I will add 1 to this digit, 2.1. Letter D, 1.54. We're rounding to the nearest tenth. This is my looker digit. It's less than 5, so I'll just leave this digit alone, 1.5. And letter E, 3.89. We're rounding to the nearest tenth. 9 is my looker digit. It's 5 or above, so I will add 1 to this digit, 3.9. Okay, go ahead and look at section 2. Now we're going to be rounding off to the nearest hundredth. So to the nearest hundredth, we have 4.629, rounding to the nearest hundredth. This is my hundredths place. This is my looker digit. It's more than 5, so it's 5 or more, so I will add 1 to my digit I have underlined, 4.63. Next we have 7.048. We're rounding to the nearest hundredths. Here's tenths, hundredths. This is my looker digit. It's 5 or more, so I will add 1 to my underlined digit, 7.05. Next we have .992. So I'm rounding to the nearest hundredths. So this is where I'm rounding. This is my looker digit. It's less than 5, so I will just leave my underlined digit alone, 0.99. Letter D, we have 6.305. Rounding to the nearest hundredth. Here's my hundredths. Here's my looker. It's 5 or above, so I add 1 to the digit that's underlined, so it'll be 6.31. And last one, we have 11.114. This is my hundredths place. That's where we're rounding. This is my looker digit. It's less than 5, so I'll leave my digit alone that's underlined. 11.11 would be my answer. Okay? I don't feel like y'all should have any problems with that. If you do, if for some reason that's not clicking, please, please, please message me today, video call me today, get a hold of me today, because I want to make sure that you have a very good understanding of that, okay? Go ahead and look at section 3. We're going to divide, and then we're going to round off to the nearest tenth. So we have 25 divided by 6. So 6 times 4 is 24. We'll subtract. 1 is smaller than 6. Now if we're going to round to the nearest tenth, then we're going to have to annex out to the hundredths place, because the hundredths place would be our looker digit, okay? So put our decimal point in the answer and bring our 0 into the dividend. Bring our 0 down. How many times will 6 go into 10? 1 time. 1 times 6 is 6. Subtract. 4 is smaller. Annex another 0 to bring down. And how many times will 6 go into 40? 6 times. Now we can keep on going, but there's no need to, because we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So here's where we're rounding. This is our looker digit. It's 5 or above, so we will add 1 to where we're rounding. So it will be 4.2. Okay? Letter B, 79 divided by 9. How many times will 9 go into 79? Well, 9 times 8 is 72. 9 minus 2 is 7. 7 is smaller than our divisor. So we are going to annex our decimal point, annex a 0, and bring it down. How many times will 9 go into 70? 9 times 7 is 63. We subtract, we have 7. We annex a 0. We bring it down. How many times will 9 go into 70? 7 times. 9 times 7 is 63. And we have 7. After I show you guys this answer, I want to show you something though. So we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So this is where we're rounding, This is our looker digit. Our looker digit is 5 or above, so we will add 1 to our place where we're rounding, so it will be 8.8. Remember the other day when I told you guys that sometimes you'll annex zeros and you can annex zeros forever and ever and ever, they will never stop? This is one of those problems. You will just keep putting 7 at the top, annexing a 0, putting it down, putting 7 at the top, annexing a 0, bring it down, and it'll never stop. It'll just keep going on and on and on like that, like the song that does not end. I know you don't want me to sing it again, but that's how it is. It's pretty cool. And we will learn what that is called very soon coming up. All right, so that it would round to 8.8. So you guys, I want you to go ahead and do the last 3 division there. I won't know if you do them. I will have no idea if you do them. But for your, to make sure that you have an understanding and that you understand how to do this, go ahead and complete them, okay? And if you even want to message me your answers and say, did I get this right? Did I get that one right? Did I get this one right? I'll be glad to say yes, 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 or no, 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 because it's not on your interactive worksheet. But I would like you to know whether or not you got them correct, okay? Number 4, let's go ahead and look at A on number 4. So on these problems, we're dividing and rounding off to the nearest hundredth. If we're rounding to the nearest hundredth, then we have to go to the place after the hundredths, tenths, hundredths, thousandths place. The thousandths place will be our looker digit. So we have 26 divided by 3. 3 will go into 26 8 times. 8 times 3 is 24. We subtract 2. 2 is smaller. Okay, so we are going to put a decimal in our quotient, a 0 in our dividend. Bring our 0 down. How many times will 3 go into 20? 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. Subtract 20 minus 18 is 2. Now this is one of the same ones. Annex is 0. Bring it down. How many times will 3 go into 20? 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. Subtract, it's 2. Okay, so 8.66, we're rounding to, oh, we gotta go out again, tenths, hundredths, we gotta go out again, because we're rounding to the nearest hundredths. So we annex a 0, we bring it down. How many times will 3 go into 20? 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. 10 minus 2 is 8. So 6, this is where we're rounding, the hundredths place. This is our looker digit. It's 5 or above, so we will add 1 to the place we're rounding. 6 plus 1 is 7, so it equals 8.6. Add our 1 here, 7, okay? And look, guys, this will just keep going on and on and on. It'll never end. It'll just keep being annex a 0, bring it down. How many times will 3 go into 26? Annex a 0, bring it down. How many times will 3 go into 20? That's another one of those problems that never end. Okay, so letter B, let's do one more together, and then I'm going to have you guys do your other ones on your, actually, let's skip letter B, and let's do letter C together, okay? And then you guys can do letter B on your own. So for letter C, we have 14 divided by 38. Now look at that. That's crazy. Our bigger number is on the outside. It's still possible to do that by annexing your decimals and annexing your zeros. So we will have to right away put a decimal in our quotient and annex a 0. And we will have to say how many times can 4 go into 14. 4 times 3 is 12, so let's try a 3 up here. 8 times 3 is 24, put 4 down, carry our 2. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. We subtract. 10 minus 4 is 6, 3 minus 1 is 2. 26 is smaller than our divisor, so we will annex another 0, and we'll bring that 0 down. How many times will 4, that's our pretend digit up here, remember 38, so that'd be 4. Will 4 go into 26? 7 times 4 is 28. 6 times 4 is 24. So we'll try 6 up here. 6 times 8 is 48. Put 8 down, carry the 4. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 4 is 22. We subtract. Minus 2 is 3. So I end up with 32. 32 is smaller than my divisor, 38. I annex another 0 and bring it down. How many times will 4 go into 32? Let's try 8. 8 times 4 is 32. Remember, we're rounding to the nearest hundreds, so we're only going to have to go out here to the thousandth place. 8 times 8 is 64. Put 4 down, carry the 6. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 6 is 30. 10 minus 4 is 6. So we have 16 there. So we're rounding to the nearest hundredth. Here's our hundredths place, our looker digit. Our looker digit is 5 or more, so we will add 1 to our digit in our hundredths place, so it equals 0.37. Okay? Alrighty, so pretty cool. I'm excited. I like those kind of problems. Go ahead and look on the back. Turn your papers to the back side. Or just turn, or flip your page, however you want to do it. Solve this story problem. Miss Johnson bought a roast that weighed 6 pounds 4 ounces. What was the total cost of the roast if the cost per pound was $4.48? So you're going to take those 6 pounds, bought a roast that weighed 6 pounds 4 ounces. What was the total cost of the roast if the cost per pound, I'm sorry guys, I read that wrong. If the cost per pound was $4.48. So you're going to have to take your 6 pounds and 4 ounces and convert that to pounds, to all pounds, okay? And then you will multiply that answer times what the cost per pound was of $4.48. Letter B, Miss Johnson also bought 1 3/8 pound of carrots, 2 1/3 pounds of onion, and 4 1/4 pound of potatoes to cook with the roast. What was the total weight of the vegetables? So you're going to have to add your fractions up, your mixed numbers, find your common denominator, and make sure that your answer is in simplest form. There can be no improper fractions, so make it all the way down to its simplest form there. Letter C, the cookbook said to allow 3/4 pound of roast per person. Miss Johnson has 6 people coming to dinner. Will there be enough for her guest and herself? So you're going to need to multiply 3/4 times 6, and then go back and look at letter A. She had 6 pounds and 4 ounces, and see if she's going to have enough roast for her guest. Miss Johnson's guests were to arrive at 6:15 p.m., but because of a bad storm, they were, can't say that fraction, they were 2/5 of an hour late. What time did they arrive? So you are going to take 2/5 of 60, because there's 60 minutes in an hour. So they were 2/5 of, what did it say? 2/5 of an hour late. So you're going to figure out how much 2/5 of an hour is, how many minutes, 2/5 divided by 60. And then you're going to add that to the time that they were supposed to have been there, however many minutes it was, and that'll give you the time they did arrive. Okay? All right, so the rest of your work will be on your interactive worksheet, and that is all. Enjoy your fun 6th grade kind of work today.